You are just so... That cork just got away from me.
One of the most tragic pages in American history is considered to be the attack by Japanese aircraft carriers on the Pearl Harbor military base. It is this bloody event that the film is dedicated to. The main outrage among American veterans and Japanese citizens was caused by the scene showing an attack on a hospital. In reality, Japanese aircraft did not touch the hospital. It is claimed that the Japanese pilots were given a strict order not to target civilian buildings. Director Michael Bay said in an interview that they were aware of this but included the scene in the film to make the attack look more dramatic and terrifying. The roles of the film's two main characters in the Pearl Harbor attack sequence correspond to two real American pilots, Lieutenants George Welch and Kenneth M. Taylor, who took to the skies and shot down between 6 and 10 Japanese fighters between them. At the same time, the film does not contain a single mention of Welch. This omission caused strong criticism among veterans. In their words, such a decision is offensive both to the fallen and to those who survived. Back then, visual effects were not yet capable of realistically portraying an aircraft carrier, so the filmmakers had to use a real American carrier, as all Japanese carriers had been destroyed by those very veterans. After meeting with the filmmakers, the veterans agreed that, given these circumstances, using an American aircraft carrier was entirely acceptable.
Japanese journalists were outraged that, according to the film, their military command holds meetings outdoors. In Japan, such meetings are conducted only indoors. The scenes in which the actors operate the aircraft use no computer graphics. Alec Baldwin, Josh Hartnett, and Ben Affleck underwent basic flight training. A real pilot would hand them control at the right moment, and Michael Bay would film the necessary shots. Ben Affleck's grandfather refused to watch the film. According to the actor, his grandfather did not want to relive all that horror again or become angry with his grandson in case the film contained too much artistic fiction. The shot Michael Bay dislikes most in his film is the one featuring Japanese women watching the Doolittle raid from a distance. The director says he has no idea why that shot ended up in the movie. Michael Bay was very dissatisfied with Josh Hartnett on set. Bay was annoyed by Hartnett's overly serious approach to many scenes and could not get the actor to perform with enough lightness. In one of his fits of rage, Bay finally found a shot where Hartnett smiled. He then began shouting that he would send this frame to Industrial Light and Magic, the company responsible for the visual effects, and their specialists would paste that smile onto every shot featuring Hartnett. The film earned a place in the Guinness World Records as the movie that used the largest amount of explosives. The production team used 700 sticks of dynamite, over 600 meters of detonation cord, and more than 15,000 liters of gasoline to ignite 6 ships. Bay claims that they intentionally made the love story poster-like, exactly the way it would have been shown in films of the 1940s and 1950s. They did not want the love story to feel realistic by modern standards. Michael Bay says he does not care about the opinion of critics who mocked the film's love story. According to him, the studio was flooded with letters from regular viewers, many of them elderly. Most praised the idea of including a love story, and therefore, in his view, the critics' opinions do not matter. During filming, aircraft flew over an abandoned military base in California. This caused panic among local residents, who thought real combat operations had begun. During production, one of the Japanese planes crashed on Ford Island in Hawaii, located in the middle of Pearl Harbor. By a lucky coincidence, the pilot was not injured, and footage of the crash ended up in the final cut of the film. Japanese aircraft of that era were painted light gray. Contrary to popular belief, the damage from the attack on Pearl Harbor was not as catastrophic as often portrayed. None of the 3 major aircraft carriers was present at the time, and thanks to this, they avoided destruction. The damaged ships were removed from active service only temporarily, and some of the sunken vessels were soon raised and repaired. For most of the ships that could not be restored, gun turrets and other valuable components were removed. A more serious loss was the destruction of 155 out of the 188 aircraft based on the Hawaiian Islands. The psychological shock after the attack was incomparably stronger than the material damage. Michael Bay negotiated with Disney for several months. As a result, he refused the director's chair several times. The issue was the budget the studio was willing to allocate for the film. Through negotiations, the budget was eventually increased from $100 to $140 million. Kate Beckinsale said that all romantic scenes were filmed at the very end of production. Over the course of filming, she and Ben Affleck became good friends, which made them feel very awkward during the romantic moments. The film's production budget was $140 million. Its worldwide box office amounted to $449 million. The rural scenes in Tennessee were filmed in the town of Somis, California, an hour's drive from Los Angeles. To make the location look more like Tennessee, Jack Daniel's whiskey did not exist in bottles of that type during the period shown in the film. The three main roles were originally intended for Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Gwyneth Paltrow. Due to commitments to other projects, two of them had to decline the offers.
On the side of my airplanes, and if you do, don't make them lopsided.
They were lopsided, Earl.
Two Japanese Mitsubishi A6M0 fighters were specially built for the film at a factory in Orenburg, Russia, which specializes in restoring World War II-era aircraft. Initially, the plan was to combine the explosions in the harbor and the ships during post-production. But during an aerial survey around Pearl Harbor, director Michael Bay noticed several ships standing separately from the rest. After this, he and the producers contacted the U.S. Navy and learned that this was part of the inactive fleet. After numerous approvals, Bay was allowed to use these ships and install the necessary explosives on them. According to Bay, he wanted to make the film with an adult rating, but Disney insisted on a teen-friendly one. After long negotiations, Bay agreed to compromise. He was persuaded by arguments that a war film like this should be accessible to a younger audience. While scouting for filming locations, the producers concluded that among modern cities, Gary, Indiana, was the best match for portraying Tokyo in 1942. Cinematographers photographed the city from the air, and the resulting footage was later integrated into the film. The total amount spent on the film's production and advertising campaign was roughly equivalent to the financial damage caused by the Japanese attack. Many American veterans who took part in the real events depicted in the film dismissed and criticized it as overly Hollywood and far from reality, containing numerous errors and inaccuracies. Among other things, particular dissatisfaction was caused by the portrayal of Colonel James Doolittle as loud, arrogant, and conceited, the opposite of the warm, brave, sincere, and humble man he truly was. Nearly all veterans who knew him personally were outraged to the core. Before filming began at Pearl Harbor, a Hawaiian priest blessed the production crew. This practice is recommended by local customs when shooting films in the Hawaiian Islands. In total, the attack on Pearl Harbor claimed 2,403 American lives. Of the aircraft involved in the 1942 Doolittle raid, not a single American plane made it to China as planned. 15 aircraft crashed during landing, and the only surviving aircraft, commanded by Captain Edward York, landed at the Soviet Far Eastern Airfield, Unashur. Director Michael Bay and producer Jerry Bruckheimer agreed to reduce their fees by $4 million to cut the project's expenses. In response, many actors also agreed to a proportional reduction in their salaries. 6 months after the film's release, the National Geographic Channel released the documentary Beyond the Movie, Pearl Harbor 2001, which was almost entirely dedicated to pointing out the errors and inaccuracies in the film.